Nigeria's communications industry, the largest in Africa, has witnessed astronomical growth due to several groundbreaking policies and regulatory frameworks initiated by the President Muhammadu Buhari administration while consolidating on previous gains. Saddled with the mandate to regulate the supply of telecommunications services and facilities, promote competition, and set performance standards for telephone services across the country, the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) has over the years, even amid global economic downturns at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, recorded numerous strides through strategic planning and evidence-based regulatory activities to accelerate industry growth.
The information and communications technology sector was the fastest growing sector in both the fourth quarter of 2020 and the entire year 2020, based on the report by the National Bureau of Statistics. The sector's 14.7% double-digit growth rate played a principal role in supporting our country to exit the recession triggered by the coronavirus pandemic. The growth rate of the sector exceeded 4 times the next fastest growing sector of fourth quarter of 2020. ICT sector, which had a growth rate of 3.42%. This is truly commendable.
In achieving its regulatory target while cognizant of current global realities as well as other key documents such as NCC's own Strategic Management Plan, SMP, of 2020 to 2024, the Commission in 2021 unveiled a 5-year Strategic Vision Plan, SVP.
As in the case of the first strategic plan, we put together a committee with membership drawn from various, departments of the Commission. So they came up with 8 pillars, recommended 8 pillars. Of course, we are all conversant with the 8 pillars of the first strategic plan of the Commission. And so when that plan expired in 2020, because the plan was valid for a period of 5 years, there is a provision in that plan for monitoring and evaluation, as is normally the case with, most strategic plans. So there was that, evaluation, monitoring and evaluation. What have we accomplished? What is remaining? And what are we going to do with, the remaining aspects of the plan that we have not accomplished? And, that set the tone for the new strategic plan, the one for 2021 to 2025. So it's like the new strategic vision plan is an offshoot of the first strategic vision plan.
The Strategic Vision Plan of 2021 to 2025 consists of 5 pillars and 3 key supporting documents.
That pillar was there, but we need to reinvigorate our activities towards, enhancing regulatory excellence and operational efficiency. Infrastructure here is both fixed, wireless, and on communication satellites, infrastructure, both fixed satellite services, FSS, as well as high throughput satellite services. This is very, very important. So the competition we're talking about should be able to, facilitate inclusive growth. No part of the country should be left out from enjoying the benefits, of telecommunication services. But we have not forgotten opportunities for investments, okay, as well as innovation that goes with the provision of, telecommunication services, because these all are taken together in that pillar number 3. Our experience, from the implementation of the past plan showed us that the quality of consumer experience is very, very important. It is not there. We have had complaints, many of them, and we decided to dedicate a pillar of the new plan towards addressing, quality of consumer experience, through what? Through quality of service. And then, of course, we repeated the last item in the plan. In the previous plan, it is also the last item in the new plan, facilitating strategic collaboration and partnerships.
The Commission is committed to ensuring continuous growth in teledensity and deepening broadband penetration, especially in the rural areas, to bridge the gap of approximately 25 million Nigerians without access to basic telephone services.
We discovered that by deployment of high throughput satellite services, we can be able to achieve almost 6 things, 3 of which are relevant to broadband penetration. We can bring down the cost of broadband connectivity. Where? In those unserved and underserved areas. And by so doing, because many people in the rural areas, in particular in unserved and underserved areas, can be able to subscribe to those services because they are affordable. That will in turn raise the broadband penetration. There will be creation of jobs. Small and medium-scale enterprises will be empowered because they are the ones mostly in such places. So we're looking into that deployment of, high-throughput satellite services in areas where we have high clusters of access gaps in order to once and for all take care of the problem so that we don't have that problem anymore and connectivity is ensured and there is what we call inclusive provision of services in the country.
An important indicator of the effective implementation of these strategic plans by the NCC is in surpassing the 30% broadband penetration set by the federal government by 2018, up from about 6% in 2015. As of April of 2022, broadband subscriptions, that's high-speed internet services, rose to 81.6 million, bringing broadband penetration to about 44%.
Whatever anybody is going to say, Nigerians, youth are highly innovative. The demand for data in particular is rising by the day. Data services are really one statistic that you notice always going up and up month after month is subscription of to data services. And when you have data, you can do many things with it. Mobile applications, other innovative things that will empower Nigerians not to necessarily rely on government for employment. That will make them self-reliant. And this is what is going on as we speak. And that is why you find the contribution to GDP, from the telecom sector is daily increasing because there is so much useful activity going on. There's so much collaboration, so much engagement, so much sharing of information, okay? All these are changing the way we engage each other, the way we innovate, the way we collaborate, and so on and so forth.
I'm the director for abinchi.com, which is more like an e-commerce online food vendor. And what we've tried to do over the years is to try and aggregate so many vendors together into one platform where you can come and regardless of what you're looking for, as long as it is Nigerian dishes or it is intercontinental dishes, you can find them in that platform. Now, you must realize that to set up an online shop, you cannot do that without broadband. Abinchi is practically riding on the back of broadband penetration in Nigeria. It is riding on the back of the access that has been provided to individuals, not just businesses, even to people in their homes. People will call the last mile users, right? Abinchi is riding on that, on the success of all of this, to be able to provide her services. Without broadband penetration, without easy access to broadband, we will not be able to one, be available for the public, neither would the public be able to access them, neither will our vendors in different locations be able to, upload their foods, be able to sell on our platform. So I think that broadband penetration in Nigeria has not only provided an opportunity for Abinchi to be, a marketplace for food vendors, but also provided opportunity for Nigerians, in their different walks of life to be able to, leverage on the opportunity that Abinchi provides, and make day-to-day livings out of that.
Another area the NCC consolidated on is the issue of consumer protection and empowerment.
Well, we have created the necessary consciousness in consumers, on how they can protect themselves. And this is something we did electronically, not by physically reaching out to them. No, we introduced some electronic measures that they can deploy themselves to protect themselves, okay? We introduced the Do Not Disturb 2442. Now whoever you talk to, they are aware, so that they can be able to keep away unsolicited messages. Before the introduction of that important, facility, they're being taken advantage of by being, by receiving unsolicited text messages for which they have to pay. Okay, now that has been put to rest. You only get text messages that you wish, that you opted, to receive.
Honestly, since I've discovered it, it's like a relief for me, because before activating the code, I get messages from left, right, center, but since I activated it, I can breathe right now because it's a relief, honestly.
Yes, I've heard about the code. Actually, a friend told me about it and I activated it on my phone. And ever since then, I stopped receiving unnecessary text message. And also sometimes, usually they used to deduct my money, but now all those things are stored ever since I activated the code on my phone.
We have also provided them with the 112. This is an emergency communications number. Our emergency communication centers are all over the country, providing useful information, on request for emergencies in the area of fire services, the police, the military, ambulance services, and so on and so forth. So Nigerians are very much aware about the existence of the National Emergency Communications Number, 112. But we also provided them with another medium, the toll-free number 622, that they can lodge complaints through to the NCC. Of course, we always encourage them that your port of call when there is a complaint is the service provider. In the event, your complaint is not addressed adequately by the service provider, then you escalate your complaint through the 622 to the Nigerian Communications Commission. Okay, and we are daily, sort of intensifying the level of sensitization, about our activities on consumers. We are holding village square meetings where they can be able to ask questions, one-on-one, and get answers right away. They get empowerment. We give them some, gifts, to take away, so that the NCC intention of this inclusive growth, is not just seen in writing, but there is a clear demonstration of, the implementation of this intent.
What's with these networks and these messages now? Do you know that the power to regulate these unsolicited messages from your service providers has been put in your hands by the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, PAR? My hands? How? The Do Not Disturb code 2442. You simply text HELP to 2442 and choose from the list of options the type of messages you want to receive. Or text STOP instead to stop the messages altogether. Really? That's simple. And if my service provider fails to comply, then call the NCC on 622 free of charge, and this will be resolved. You can also dial 622 to lodge a complaint in the event of an unresolved issue, even after reaching out to your service provider. Wow, this is really empowering the consumer. Thank you, NCC.
The successful 5G spectrum auction is another milestone recorded under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The following bidders emerged as provisional license winners. 1. Mafab Communications Limited. 2. MTN Communications Nigeria. Arising from that call, the winning bid price of the auction is $273,600,000 United States dollars for each lot of the 100 megahertz TDD.
The exercise has come to a very successful conclusion. I will thank God for his mercies. Let me begin by thanking the Executive Vice Chairman. We also want to thank the board chair, the commissioners, management of NCC, the Honorable Minister for also granting the spectrum that made the deployment possible. I would like to thank all members of staff of the Commission, all industry stakeholders, the bidders that honored the invitation to come and bid, the staff of the Commission that helped to make the exercise so smooth.
When it comes to the successful spectrum, the 5G spectrum auction, we had, the credit must go to the federal government under the leadership of our president, President Muhammadu Buhari, for approving the 5G policy, which was put together under the watchful eyes of our Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy. Without the policy, we wouldn't have recorded any success, without that guidance, that guiding document stating what and what we're going to do, culminating in the successful auction, that we had. So the credit, most of it should go to the government, to the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy. And a small part of that credit, of course, will come to the NCC, the EBC, the staff of the commission, who were there, the relevant departments and all others who provided moral support, that facilitated that successful auction. It was the first time that the commission was able to conduct an auction of that kind. It went 11 rounds. And the major features of the auction were that, one, we had to sweep all the rooms where those who participated in the auction, were provided with, accommodation. So there was electronic sweeping. Even before that, we have to identify the candidate spectrum. We did an information memorandum. The list is endless. There was a mock auction. The security agencies were there. Most people don't know. The media was there, to watch and attest to the credibility, the transparency, and openness of the auction. The international community were watching Many could not believe what they saw, but it all went very well. Okay, so we are very proud of what we have done for government, and the little credit that, came to us through that we appreciate, and we would like to express our commitment to even do more for this government, for the country, and for the people of this country. We generated a revenue for the government, the type that has never been generated before. No auction has given government the kind of revenue that we generated, to be honest with you.
The Nigerian Communications Commission, under the astute leadership of Professor Umar Dambata, is committed to implementing the Strategic Vision Plan of 2021 to 2025 to adequately position the nation's telecom sector as a key enabler of national socio-economic transformation.
I begin by commending the effort of NCC board and management for coming up with these 3 important initiatives that are in alignment with the 3 priority areas of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. This effort of the board and the management is highly commendable.
In the modern economy, in the way in which economies of the whole world are moving, we have to have a vision. Now, a vision like the one being envisaged by the NCC is a vision which is going into the right direction.
This will be like the first time that a document like that, was unveiled, documenting our achievements in the various areas we said we are going to work consistent with the pillars, that of the strategic plan that, was used to drive our activities in the commission, over a period of 5 years. Nigerians have the right to know what we have done, because when we sort of introduced the SBP, the past one, we made so much noise. We wanted Nigerians to know that you have these documents according to which we are going to be conducting our activities. When the document was about to expire, or when it expired, we owe it a duty to Nigerians to tell them, what have you done? What have you achieved? And more than talking about it, we documented it.
I was happy when the EVC introduced the next 5-year strategic plan, changing from the former 8 to 5, which is now more focused, and also leveraging on the results of the past. So it's not like starting from scratch. It's a build-up to what has already been done, and that literally guarantees that we're going to have success in the broadband plan as well as the digital economy.
I want to start by congratulating the Honorable Minister, the EVC, and the entire members of the board of the NCC. This is definitely an epoch-making event, and I congratulate the EVC for having time to compile this book. It's something that shows that he's an academic. I was there for 10 years. My book is still being written. So I congratulate him for taking the initiative and presenting this.
And there will be a second book on the SBP too. Yes, for prosperity, for Nigerians, okay? I think that the only way I can justify the confidence reposed in me by the federal government under the able leadership of Mr. President, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, as well as working in harmony with the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy. I do hope by the time I leave, these documents will speak for me. I don't have to say anything, in terms of what we have done and what we have achieved.